Game series between the Phillies and the Mets is going to start with a little rainfall as Cole Hamels is out loosening up on the mound. Let's take a look at the New York Mets starting lineup for tonight. Leading it off in center field, Angel Pagan. Luis Castillo, the second baseman, bats second. David Wright hits third, followed by the cleanup batter, Jeff Francoeur. Fernando Tatis, the number 5 hitter. Nick Evans in left field hits sixth. Omir Santos bats seventh. Batting eighth is Wilson Valdez. And hitting ninth in pitching is former Philly Nelson Figueroa. And they'll be opposed by left-hander Cole Hamels, making his 28th start of the year, 8-9 with a 4.32 earned run average.
And Cole hasn't pitched very well against the New York Mets in his career this year. He's had a couple of shaky outings. He's been much better lately, though. Even that game he pitched in Houston the other night where he didn't come up with a win, he pitched pretty well in that. He's really had good fastball command lately, and his confidence level seems to be a lot better. See how he does against this Mets team. They have a couple guys back. David Wright's back since we saw them last, and Beltran's available.
Yeah, Carlos Beltran not playing tonight in center field because of the wet conditions, so Angel Pagan starts in center field. He's riding a 10-game hitting streak, and overall you see his numbers. And the count, 1 ball and 1 strike to him. Pagan was 11 for 28 on the most recent homestand for the Mets, which included the losses to the Marlins. They were swept out by the Florida Marlins. 2-1 the count.
Yeah, they fell behind fast in those games against the Marlins and really they just didn't compete against them. They always seem to compete against the Phillies, though, and you would think even this brutal night like this that they would be focused with the Mets and try to get after them.
Off the end of the bat, a pop-up behind home plate. Ruiz off of the mask, and they'll run out of room. And the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, this year the Phillies hold a lead in the season series. They are 9-5 against the Mets, 4-1 here at Citizens Bank Park. And as Charlie Manuel has said over the last couple of days, the Phillies need to play better against the teams that he termed are second division teams. And that's what the Mets are this year. And Jerry Manuel knows that as well as anybody. And there's the first strikeout of the night for Cole Hamels. It's a changeup, 1 away here in the top of the first.
It's time now for our Key State Chrysler Jeep keys to tonight's game, which begins in this light rain that's been falling for the last couple hours. While playing another team with nothing to lose, these teams can really be dangerous. So what happened in that series in Washington? That was a tough series. We'll win the first game of this long weekend of baseball that will have a game tomorrow afternoon and then 2 on Sunday.
Here's Luis Castillo, who is the league's 6th leading hitter at .310. He has 1 home run and 35 runs batted in. And his on-base percentage, as you see there, has been good all year, but since the 1st of July, he's 4th in all of Major League Baseball. And Hamels quickly is ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. One and 2 the count. Cole comes into today's ball game with an 8-9 record, an ERA of 4.32. As Wheels mentioned, he has struggled against the Mets. This is his 9th career game against New York. He is 1-4 against him with an ERA of 4.50.
Yeah, it isn't even a matter of he's pitched real well. That game he pitched against him in New York was a turning point in his season. A lot of people feel, because he blew up on himself on the mound that night, and then he calmed down, and he's been calm since.
He allowed 10 hits over 5 innings and 4 runs in that game, as Castillo bloops one down the right field line. Utley on the run. He can't get there, and it drops in for a base hit. And that has been something that's plagued Cole Hamels the last few starts, in particular his last outing against the Houston Astros.
Yeah. Hit them where they ain't. And Castillo, that's the type of hitter he is. He rarely swings and misses. His butt was flying towards his own dugout there, and he watch him pulling. Well, he pulled off, and then he just put it into a perfect spot where nobody could get to it. But he was flying wide open, and then somehow reached out and just made contact and looped that thing into right field.
And Chase nearly got to the spot. Now with 1 out and a runner on first, that'll bring David Wright to the plate. See Wright's numbers, .317 overall. He is 5th in the league in batting with a .317 average.
Good numbers against Cole Hamels.
Included in that a home run in those 20 at-bats. And he takes one a little low, 1 ball and no strikes. David Wright was hit by a pitch in the head on August 15th and suffered a concussion, was on the disabled list till the 30th of August. And since he's returned, he's just 7 for his last 31. And it's quickly 1 ball and 1 strike.
It's tough to do when you come back and you get beamed the way he was after that. Especially against right-handed pitching, I would think, when that thing's coming around you and those breaking balls come near your head and you have to stay in there and then you have to hit a fastball. It takes a while. He's wearing the regular helmet. He tried that larger one a little while and it didn't work out for him.
Change up out in front, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Wright wore that larger helmet that we saw Shane Victorino wear for a couple of at bats, and like Shane, he just wasn't used to it. In fact, Wright slid into second base at one point against the Rockies, and the helmet caused such a problem for him that he discarded it and went back to his old one. And a toss over to first, and Castillo's back standing.
Almost gotten better at holding runners on. Michael Bourne gave him problems in that game in Houston. Michael Bourne basically won that game that Cole pitched the other night in Houston the other day because of his base running. He scored 1 run and then set up another larger inning.
Off the end of the bat, and the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, Cole has certainly picked up the pace on the pickoffs. You see, he has 4 this year.
And he doesn't pick them off per se. He gets them so they're running towards second and they're caught stealings and you throw them out at second base. It's not like he moves over there with a good move and gets them going back towards first. A lot of foul balls right out of the chute. That's one of the things you look for, is the way his outing is going to go in the course of a night. Now, obviously, it's not hot here tonight, but right away, these guys are fouling pitches off.
Another toss over to first base.
Guys that throw fastballs away, changeups away the way that he does, and you have a lot of right-handed hitters, they have a tendency to foul those pitches off. And the only thing to break that up a little bit, get them out early in the count, throw a breaking ball once in a while.
And there's a fastball up and away, swung on it, missed, and Wright is the second strikeout victim of the night.
Or throw one by him that he can't foul off.
Yeah, that one came in the low 90s, and David Wright just couldn't catch up.
This is not a strike, but David Wright chases it and didn't foul that one off. He just swung and missed at it.
So Wright is retired, 2 away here in the top of the first inning. Jeff Francoeur is the hitter. Francoeur, who was acquired by the Mets earlier this season from the Atlanta Braves for Ryan Church, has 9 hits overall against Hamels, and he's swinging first pitch changeup at the count 0-1.
And he's swinging first pitch fastball, and he got that changeup.
That's a better way of describing it.
You know him, Tom. That's what he's doing. Every pitch to Francoeur is a fastball.
That one just missed off the outside corner, 1-1. And Francoeur in the mix with Benji Molina, Ivan Rodriguez, Pablo Sandoval, with the percentage of swings per at bat. Rick Anquila's in that mix as well. Inside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Francoeur, since being acquired by the Mets, is hitting .296 with 7 home runs and 33 runs batted in. In fact, his 7 home runs are 3 behind Gary Sheffield, who has the team lead in homers. 2-2 the count.
Another changeup. To a changeup the pitch before that came inside. That one was a dead fish down and away and got Francoeur to chase.
Line drive toward left field, coming out as Ibanez. He's not going to get there. Picks it up on 1 hop, and Francoeur has the second hit of the inning for the Mets. So New York has runners on first and second here at the top of the first.
Well, the 2 hits are a bloop to right and a broken bat off a changeup. He made a perfect pitch on Francoeur, and he got to it. Broke his bat and still looped it out there for a single. So a long first inning continues for him. See, he throws this right where he wants. and Francoeur just moved back a little bit. Instead of it going down and away, it came back towards the plate a little bit, just enough that he could get his bat on it.
Yeah, you saw the chips of the bat sort of fluttering around as he took that swing.
Yeah, that was a wood chip pile.
2 outs now for Fernando Tatis. And Tatis hits one in the air to center field. Over toward left center goes Shane Victorino, and the inning is over. So Cole Hamels strands 2. He throws 22 pitches. Here at the top of the first, the inning is over. We go to the bottom. Off at shortstop, Jimmy Rollins. Shane Victorino bats second. Chase Utley hits third, followed by the cleanup batter, Ryan Howard. Raul Ibanez is in left field hitting fifth. Jason Worth bats sixth. Pedro Feliz will be at third base hitting seventh. The catcher, Carlos Ruiz, bats eighth. And batting ninth and pitching is Cole. And they will face right-hander Nelson Figueroa. Figueroa overall 2-4 with a 4.74 earned run average. He has spent some time in the minor leagues this year. Has been in the bullpen for the Mets. Has been a starting pitcher. And he's a former Philly.
Yeah, we're talking about the year 2001 a lot tonight. Well, he was with the Phillies that year, and also in the year 2000. There are the numbers on Nelson. As Tom said, he spent most of the year in the minor leagues, but they have had so many problems that they've needed guys, and Figueroa's had a chance to start 5 games this year. Here's a scouting report on him. That's his fastball. He just tries everything. He'll tail it, sink, cut it. He'll throw a straight change. He's got a pretty good move to first base, too. He's not the easiest guy to run on if you get on.
Well, Jimmy Rollins will lead things off for the Phillies. Jimmy 7 for 32 on the most recent road trip for the Phils. And he takes one for a strike. Jimmy, during that road trip, drove in 2 runs. He didn't score a whole lot of runs, which is one of the reasons why the Phillies were 2-5 on that trip. And quickly he's behind. No balls at 2 strikes. Figueroa is now 35 years old. His lifetime record is 12-24, an ERA of 4.65. Back in 2001 with the Phillies, he went 4-5, had an ERA of just under 4. And that one's in on the thumbs. Jimmy trying to hustle it out for an infield base hit, but he's retired. 1 away. Figueroa also did his part after those September 11th attacks. You see what he's done his last 3 starts, 20 strikeouts in 18 innings. He, along with then Atlanta Braves pitcher Mike Remlinger, came up with these T-shirts that had the slogan, "To all the heroes and victims, united we stand." And after the September 11th attacks, he helped raise nearly $500,000 for the September 11th fund. And Victorino greets him with a line drive toward the gap in right center field, and that's off the top of the scoreboard. Francoeur gets to it quickly, and Victorino's going to hold up with a 1-out double. That's a good start for Shane Victorino, who had just 7 hits on the road trip.
Yeah, he just took a first ball fastball and hammered it in the gap out there. Shane's 35th double of the year. And Francoeur, oh, can he stop you? if that bounces away a little bit, Shane can think about going to third base. But what it does, it hits off the scoreboard, and watch, it comes down. Francoeur gets on it quickly, and when he gets on it, here comes a clothesline back into the infield. And Victorino can throw like that. Well, few people can throw like Francoeur. Shane is pretty close, if not his equal.
So he's in scoring position now for Chase Utley. Chase overall hitting .293, 30 home runs, 86 RBIs. And as you see there, he has 22 career home runs against the Mets. And he takes a breaking ball for a strike, and it's 0-1.
It's a miserable, misty rain falling right now, and they wanted to get this game started and see if they could play through it.
See the rain falling and the lights out there. They're not sure how much it's going to rain, but there was plenty of word to get those ponchos on before the start of the ball game.
They are not playing three infielders on the right side, are the Mets. They have the shortstop behind second base. Valdez, there you see where he is.
It's kind of where Christian Guzman was the other night when Shane was caught off of the second base bag and a ball hit by Ryan Howard. 2-1 the count. And Omir Santos going out to the mound. I asked Shane about that. I said, what could you have done differently? He said, well, as soon as the ball was hit, I should have went right back to second base. And he said, if not, I should have taken off toward third and not stopped. I should have just kept on going. And Charlie watching that play, and he knows as well as anybody that Shane made the mistake, and Shane probably just should have went right back to the bag.
Yep. Well, we talked about at the time, he kind of forgotten that overshift was there, and normally that ball, the way it was hit, it's a base hit up the middle, but there was a player standing there because of the overshift.
2-1 the count, and that ball hits Chase Utley for the 21st time this year. He has been hit by a pitch.
It's the seventh batter that Figueroa has hit, and all that can mean is he's trying to pitch inside. It's only in 38 innings he's hit 7 batters.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, it is. And it's not like he's a headhunter or anything, but he's trying to do his best to get the ball inside to right and left-handed hitters, and he's nailed a couple of them like he just did Chase.
So 1 out, runners on first and second here in the bottom of the first inning, and the Phillies have an opportunity to take the early lead. There's Ryan Howard. See, Ryan splits between left-handers and right-handers. That's down compared to most years. And he hits that one foul. He was just out in front of that off-speed pitch. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Lowell Goodman of Radnor, PA. If the Phillies hit a home run in tonight's ball game, then Lowell will win $100. Phillies also hit a home run in tonight's ball game. It would be the 200th of the season. It would be the fastest in franchise history that a team has gotten to 200 home runs. See Ryan's numbers with runners in scoring position. He's got one in scoring position, another one on first. Inside, 2-1.
Figueroa gives a little Louis Tiant look right there, a little rock back look at second, and then come home. It looked like he was going to just pivot and do that little inside move that he has, and maybe even throw to second, but then he delivered the ball to the plate. That'd be a little confusing for Ryan Howard.
Off the hands. 2-2. Like it went right between those two guys right there. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, hey, the Washington Nationals have picked up right where they left off last night. They've jumped out to a 2-0 lead over the Marlins on a 2-run home run by Adam Dunn as he heads toward another 40 home run season. He now has 37. That one's in the air to left, not deep. And Nick Evans makes the grab.
Ryan kind of jammed himself on a curveball there. See how he waited, and then it just got deep on him, and he wasn't able to do anything with it.
So Figueroa's got the first 2 outs here at the bottom of the first, but still 2 runners on for Raul Ibanez. I wondered what kind of reaction Raul would get coming back to Philadelphia off of a pretty good road trip in which he was 9 for 24. Let's see what he did the last 4 games. And he takes a fastball outside, 1-0. Yeah, most of that lack of damage for Raul has come in the second half of the season. Two and one the count. That slider tapped the inside part of the plate. Figueroa last year with the Mets appeared in 16 games. He won 3 of them at an ERA of 4.57. He was originally drafted by the Mets, but then went to Arizona. That's where the Phillies got him. And that one is at the knees for strike 2.
In the Kurt Schilling deal.
He was one of the 4 players the Phillies received from Arizona for Kurt Schilling. And you see his career numbers. This is his 45th game. And the runners will be off with this pitch. 3-2. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. Jason Worth waits on deck. Runners go, and the pitch is hit foul. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Marlins have tied that ball game up on a 2-run home run by Hanley Ramirez. They have scored a lot of first inning runs on this road trip.
Hanley Ramirez is having a tremendous season. If it weren't for Albert Pujols, you really have to think about him as the most valuable player in this league.
He's leading the league in average, but he's also providing some pop. Runners will go again. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Hit foul again by Ibanez. Phillies begin play tonight 20 games over 500 and 5 up over the Florida Marlins, a team that they will face 6 more times. Umpires tonight, Gary Darling is behind home plate. Bruce Dreckman is at first, Paul Emmel at second, and Todd Tischner at third. Darling is the crew chief. Again, the runners go. And the ball is popped up foul again, this time off the third base side. So Figueroa has thrown the same amount of pitches as Cole threw in his half of the first. And Raul's having himself a pretty good at bat. This will be the 9th pitch of the at bat for Raul. Check swing, ground ball, middle of the field, picked up by Castillo, and the inning is over. So the Phillies strand 2 here in the first. We have played 1. We head to the second. App is now available, worn throughout Major League Baseball tonight and also yesterday. Portions of the proceeds will help benefit Welcome Back veterans. To order, stop by the Majestic Clubhouse store at Citizens Bank Park or call 877-GO-PHILS. It's not only a cap that the Phillies are wearing, as you see there, but also the Mets tonight are wearing it. It's a pretty good looking cap. We saw it for the first time last year. The umpires are also wearing those caps tonight as Nick Evans swings at the second pitch from Cole Hamels and pops it into the rain. Jay Sutley makes the grab. One away. See the umpires wearing those caps with the stars and stripes. And it's kind of odd to see some of these teams that do not have red in their color scheme wear the red caps. Last year they were blue. They were navy blue caps. But teams like the Mets, who do not have red in their scheme, are wearing these red caps. Teams like the A's are wearing the red caps.
It seems okay with the Phillies.
Fits perfectly. There's Howard Johnson wearing that Stars and Stripes cap with the New York Mets logo. Omir Santos, the hitter, and he swings at a changeup in the count, 1 ball and 1 strike.
It's fastball changeup so far tonight, not throwing his curveball. Whether or not that's his game plan, or it's wet out there and he doesn't feel like he can get a grip on it. Oh, there's one.
He has thrown the curveball more lately, and it's helped him. He's gotten some outs on it. There's a changeup on the inside corner. That's a good pitch.
Yeah, normally changeups from left-handed pitchers on the inside corner, that's not a great idea, but it surprises hitters because they expect a changeup to go down and away.
Jamie Moyer is one of the best at putting that changeup on the inside part of the play. That was a curve by Hamels. There's Jamie, who will pitch tomorrow afternoon against the Mets. He received a no decision in his last start against the Astros. And there's another strikeout for Hamels. It's his third, 2 away here in the top of the second.
It was set up by all those off-speed pitches that he threw to Santos there, and then finally throws a fastball away that he chases. All those change-ups, even a curveball, and then that's that same pitch that David Wright chased. It's not a strike, but it's tempting because of all those off-speed pitches.
So 2 away as Santos goes back to the dugout. Wilson Valdez, the batter. And he takes one for a strike, belt high. Phillies are in the middle of playing 16 consecutive games against the National League East. Not only that, of those 16, 10 are coming against the Nationals and the Mets, the 2 bottom teams in the East. So the Phillies can control an awful lot of that magic number, which you'll hear a whole lot about in the next several weeks around Major League Baseball, just by playing these 10 games. As Valdez shoots that one to right at Jason Worth. And the inning is over. 1, 2, 3 go the Mets. That's a good quick inning for Cole Hamels. We head to the bottom of the second, and Jason will lead things off. back at 10:30. Right after my PHL 17 news at 10.
And every time you read that, does it enter your mind and wonder if you are?
It does, but I don't make those programming decisions.
You know, there has to be a reason for that, you know, that they play that kind of game. Because obviously they do it to defeat adults.
I know that there are many that I'm probably not smarter
right.
than. Yeah.
Well, me too. Every time I see that, it crosses your mind like, I don't know.
Jason Worth has the count even, 1 ball and 1 strike. I mean, I walk around all day with, 2 or 3 that have already been passed. No, 2 that have already been past the 5th grade level. 1 that's getting there. Sometimes I wonder.
Yeah. Like right there.
The one to the left.
Say, man, if you'd have given me that ball, I'd have shown you how to throw. Just toss me the next one. I'm going to show you.
Jason smokes one to straightaway center field. Pagan going back. He has room, and he makes the catch. Man, that looked good off the bat. It's going to be tough tonight. The way this weather is to.
Yeah, air's kind of heavy tonight. He hit this one well, but it had topspin. That's the difference between, there's a little slider or cutter, something that broke away from him, and he didn't quite, as they use that term nowadays, barrel that one up the way that he did that home run that he hit in Washington.
That was a long one.
Yeah, he hit that one right on the barrel.
Well, 1 out here is Pedro Feliz, and he hits one toward the gap in left center field. Evans going over. He's not going to get there. It's going to be a 1-hop just off the bottom of the 387 side. And Pedro Feliz has his 24th double of the year.
Never ceases to amaze you sometimes when they throw a first ball fastball right down the middle to Pedro Feliz. It's always nice, but that's what he wants. You know, he swings first ball a lot, and he swings like it's a fastball a lot. And that time it was, and he hit it hard.
And with 1 out, it brings Carlos Ruiz to the plate. Carlos, he had himself a heck of a road trip. In fact, look what he's done his last 11 games. That's raised his average back up to a respectable 254 with a career high 9 home runs. And we look at that home run total and see 9, and there are a lot of folks in this Phillies organization that feel like he can hit more than that in this season. In fact, be in the upper teens in home runs.
Well, when he hits them, there's no doubt about it. He can pop them.
He's worked this count in his favor, and you see his numbers with runners in scoring position. And 2-1 the count.
You see the way that Figueroa will pitch backwards. He throws him a breaking ball, 2-0 in a fastball count. So the ultimate in that last night in Livan Hernandez. He is really good at that stuff. And that can make an 88 fastball look really fast. You see, he jammed himself. He's laid on it after he got a breaking ball because he put it in his head that he can throw it for a strike.
Pedro walks off second base. He's in scoring position. And the count full, 3-2.
Another breaking ball. Doesn't mean you won't throw a 1-3-2 to an 8-hole hitter.
Got the pitcher on deck, albeit a good hitting pitcher.
And even though there's 1 out, a guy like Figueroa may not challenge him.
And he doesn't, and it's ball 4. That one just missed.
Man. I don't know where that one was. At least Figueroa does. Looks in at Gary Darney. Threw a 3-2 slider there, and it was close.
Well, the Washington Nationals, who the Phillies just saw, they'll see him again this Tuesday beginning at 7:05. It's a 3-game series. Log on to Phillies.com. Get your tickets. There are good seats still available for all 3 of those games, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday here at the ballpark. 1 out. Cole Hamels the batter. He squares, and he bunts that one back toward the mound. Figueroa's going to third. And David Wright hung on to the bag.
That's communication before the bunt is put down on where your third baseman's going to be. And once it was bunted hard to Figueroa, he knew he had David Wright in the area. But Wright made an unbelievable play. That ball looked like it was headed for the tarp when he threw it. Not a good bunt by Hamels. Too hard. And David Wright somehow goes off, catches that thing, and stays on the bag. Tremendous play.
Almost looked like as he was falling, he kicked his foot back to hit the bag.
And he landed kind of hard. And takes a look at his hand when he gets up. You know, it's hard to have pretty footwork when you get a throw like that at you.
Want to know the count to Jimmy, who grounded out to second his first time up. David Wright won a Gold Glove at third. He's probably not going to win it this year because of the emergence of Ryan Zimmerman. 2-0 the count. I also wonder when folks are going to put Pedro Feliz into that conversation for a Gold Glove over at third base. I mean, he's played almost every day this year. Last year with that back problem, he didn't play every day. Line drive, base hit into right field. Ruiz around third. He's being waved home. Here's the throw by Francoeur. Airmails it, and the Phillies lead it 1-0. And Sam Perlaza with a wet track tests the arm of Jeff Francoeur. Over to third goes Hamels. Jimmy is still anchored at first, and it's 1-0 Phillies.
That's good base running by Hamels, and Jimmy Rollins would probably be at second base once that throw was airmailed like that. Hamels saw it. He made sure he got over to third. He didn't get the bunt down, but he makes a pretty good base running play there. Well, that ball must have really been wet. Figueroa is right where he's supposed to be. Sam Perlaza waving Ruiz in, and the throw. They tell him to slide.
I don't know if they did or not, but I think he had to because Santos wasn't moving out of the way. So 2 outs, 1-0 Phillies. Runners on first and third. And Victorino takes a breaking ball for a strike. Shane doubled his first time up. See the alignment of the defense. They've shortened up at shortstop and third with 2 outs. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. Got a piece of it, but he's down in the count 1-2. You may have seen Jimmy breaking out of the corner of his eye. It looked like Jimmy thought about going, but didn't have a good track. You know, I asked Davey Lopes the other day about base stealing. I said, do you care if the first baseman hears you say it's time to go? He goes, well, no, there's not much he can do. He might signal to throw over, but that's about it.
That's all he can do. And what he usually says is you got it.
Yep.
And that's pretty quick.
Outside 2-2.
By that meaning you got it. They have picked up something, and when they see that, they go.
Well, he said that there are times the first baseman doesn't hear him. Like right there, I don't know if Fernando Tatis would have heard him, and he may have just mouthed it more than anything else to Jimmy Rollins. He said, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you and I were talking about that on the air the other night. Like, what are they going to do about it anyway?
There goes Jimmy. Pitch is hit foul the opposite way. He got a good jump.
Would have been something to ask Keith Hernandez tonight. You know, we spent all that time with him in the office. You know, did he ever hear anything like that? Did he ever listen? Is there anything he could do about it? I'll have to ask him the next time we get around him, because if anybody would have an answer, it would be the Mex. He's got an answer for everything.
Yes, he does.
He's fun to talk to.
There goes Jimmy again, and the pitch is way inside, and Jimmy's going to have a stolen base without a throw.
Keith Hernandez, who's here doing the Mets games, with Gary Cohen tonight, the Mets game with Gary Cohen, was a tremendous defensive first baseman. Think about his offense, but he could really play first. There he is.
There is Keith and Gary.
Right there. He's a mainstay in the office before the game. And after.
And after. And ball 4, and the Phillies have the bases loaded. Jerry Manuel was watching Nelson Figueroa throw a couple of close pitches with 2 strikes. He hasn't gotten the call.
Well, he looked like he may have had Carlos struck out. Carlos Ruiz struck out, didn't get that one, and that one was close.
Jerry Manuel, who took over last year for Willie Randolph. There's Gary Darling.
Well, he probably has no orders from Major League Baseball. Get the game in. Let's go. Get it started. Get it in. Unless it just got really, really bad. Because you're at that point of the year where you want to play them. You always want to play them, but especially now.
A lot of times Major League Baseball doesn't want to give up what would be the second to last off day for the Phillies on Monday, particularly with 3 more games after this one on the schedule. Chase takes a pitch low with the bases loaded, and the Phillies leading at 1-0. Phillies have hit 9 grand slams this year. That's a franchise record, and number 9 came last night. Two and 0 the count to Chase.
Here it is. Got a fastball to hit, and as Charlie said tonight, he ran into it. And that went about, what, 3-4 rows up in right center field, and that really feel good for Matt. There he is.
Matt had been hitless since the All-Star break, and you see his numbers with the bases loaded. The pinch hit home run was his 19th pinch hit home run.
He'd like having another coach around, too.
And Chase pulls it foul. This is probably the hardest the rain has been since the start of the ball game. And it has been raining since the first pitch was thrown. Three balls and 1 strike to count. That fastball low.
But Chase really has to lock into his zone. He got a little antsy in that 2-0 and jumped at a pitch and hit it way foul.
He's got the bases loaded. Hamels, Rollins, and Victorino from left to right all the way around the diamond.
And one of the problems they've had with runners in scoring position lately is they're just not patient. They're trying too hard, and they get themselves out a lot of times. And give the pitcher credit sometimes, but many times it's just not good swing.
And Chase got a pitch he could drive, but he popped it up foul. 3-2 the count, and the runners will be off. First half of the year, we talked so much about the Phillies' success with the bases loaded, and they had some unbelievable success. And you know, with the rain falling, the battle between Nelson Figueroa and Chase Utley becomes a little more difficult. And Figueroa has been battling this inning. He's given up a run. Runners go. And the pitch popped up foul again. And Figueroa will walk and think. Chase moves back and forth and thinks.
Well, his Santos wears out a path to the mound, I'll tell you.
There's Razor Shines, who's trying to adjust the defense. He's trying to get Angel Pagan's attention, but Pagan is not really paying attention. They're trying to move him over, but
something's trying to, you know, he has had a little bit of late swing in those last 2 pitches, even though he's ahead in the count, so they're trying to move him a little bit towards left center.
Chase stays alive.
Breaking ball, that looked like, yeah, a slider.
That is just this inning.
A lot of pitches this inning, and overall 51 already. So in the Mets dugout, they're thinking, okay, who's 2, 3, 4, and 5 tonight?
Well, like a lot of teams here in September, they have added to their bullpen roster. Runners not being held on. They go. And the pitch hit foul. We'll do it one more time.
They're happy they stayed.
They're happy they got that ball because they battled some bigger guys to get that ball. Speaking of battles, it's Figueroa against Utley. And they have been battling in this at-bat. And Chase pops it up. Way up there in foul territory. Tatis, the first baseman, comes running down the line, and he makes the catch. And the inning is over. The Phillies have to settle for one. They strand the bases loaded. That turned out to be a pretty good play by Fernando Tatis, as he was battling the rain, the wind, and then finally the baseball. For most RBI in their first 12 games with the team. The answer will be revealed in the 7th inning. Top of the 3rd inning. Cole Hamels working with the lead. Nelson Figueroa the batter, and he takes a pitch for a strike. Figueroa has 3 hits and 11 at bats this year. He's also driven in 3 runs, and he hits that one off the end of the bat. A little looper. Chase is out. Jason's in. 1 away. So 1 out here in the 3rd. You know, throughout the course of the season, you know, we every once in a while give folks a backstage look at some of the great folks who make our job so easy here on the telecast. And one of those guys is the great Charlie O'Gara, who is our cameraman behind home plate. And take a look at Charlie's resume. And the reason we're doing this is because, you know, these folks don't always get the recognition they deserve for all the hard work that they put in every single day here at the ballpark. And Charlie is up here with us, and
I like to think about being younger than Aggie.
I was going to say, I'm not sure if Aggie or Bernie are going to be happy about that.
that was great.
Well, Charlie, thanks for everything. There's Aggie.
No way. No, Aggie says that can't be true. I've known this guy forever.
Yeah. Well, the next 2 weeks, we'll introduce you to the folks that are behind the scenes. There's Bernie, who Charlie is, again, a year younger than.
Yeah.
Now, if Charlie's a year younger than Aggie and Bernie, then why is he inside and why are they outside?
Maybe he's smarter.
Well, that's true. He is smarter than a 5th grader.
There you go.
Over to the count to Angel Pagan.
I worked with Charlie and Aggie back in the early 70s making commercials at the old Channel 17 and off of City Line Avenue when I was over there. And now it's the new PHL 17, but back then I can't even remember my PHL 17. I can't remember what it was back then, but we had a lot of fun. Candy Smith was the spokesperson for the Phillies, and we'd go over there and make the commercials with with Denny Lehman.
In the air to right field. Jason Worth's had a busy night.
And Eggy and Charlie were always around.
Now, is Charlie a year younger than you, too?
I don't know. I have to ask him. I don't know whether he's in the lying mode right now or what.
Well, stay tuned, because we will find out over the next couple of weeks. We are going to introduce you and say thank you to some of the great folks that make our lives so easy up here in the booth. Two away, and here's Luis Castillo.
And they really do. We're so lucky. We have a great crew to work with. And they're baseball fans, so many of them, too. You know, they get here early, and you run into them. They want to talk about the team, talk about the game, talk about situations.
Castillo singled his first time up. He looped one over the head of Ryan Howard at first base. And he's down in the count 0-2. Boy, Cole is really throwing strikes now.
Yeah, had a little trouble in that first inning with a lot of foul balls. Castillo's a guy who's not going to swing and miss very often. He'll foul it off or put it into play somewhere, like he did with that little blue pit.
All the issues the Mets have had this year injury-wise. You know, this is the one guy who has basically stayed healthy the whole year.
Right. Which is remarkable, because he's a guy that was hurt so much.
Right. 2-2 the count to Castillo. And he's put together a solid season.
There he goes. He never met a pitch he didn't like to swing at, and he just seems to hit them somewhere. He drives pitchers nuts. Castillo is one of those guys, I think after a while you might as well just throw it down the middle.
See what he can do.
Put it in play, because you know he's going to hit it, and hope he hits it at somebody instead of trying to fool him.
Stays alive again. That time a changeup.
And it's a good pitch. And you see his body's flying one way, but his hands are still right in that area of home plate where he makes contact. Now, when he beat, I think the pitch before that, he hit off his foot, and he's getting a little hitch in his giddy up. Here, now look at this swing. Now, there's nothing pretty about that. And he is hobbling a little. See, you jinxed him. Oh, man. That's what I was thinking about. Maybe throw him a pitch down the middle. He gets a little inside. Yep, inside.
Outside, ball 4. Castillo draws his 29th walk since the All-Star break.
That was an unbelievable at bat. Some of the pitches he fouled off.
So he's on first with 2 outs here in the top of the third, and it brings David Wright to the plate. The surprising thing is that Castillo in that series against the Marlins and the previous series up at Citi Field, he struck out 6 times.
That is amazing, because we don't see that. We don't see him swing and miss that often, as he's been doing here tonight, fouling pitches off.
David Wright went down on strikes his first time up. And that one is a pop-up right side. Well, Cole really has kept them off balance the last couple of innings. And Ryan Howard retires right. The inning is over. Cole strands 1. We played 2.5. We head to the bottom of the third. It'll be Ryan Howard, Raul Ibanez, and Jason Worth for the Phils. RBI single by Jimmy Rollins, and we're going to head out to the bullpen. There's a lot of guys out there right now, and the guy all the way to the left with a headset on, that's Mick Billmeyer. He's the bullpen coach for the Phillies, and he joins us now. Mick, how's everybody doing out there tonight?
Everybody's trying to stay dry. There's old Frankie.
Mick's going to introduce us to everybody out there.
Yeah. The Mets. We're good friends with the Mets.
All right, now let me ask you about being out there, watching the game from that vantage point. What are some of the things that you see out there that you may not see in the dugout?
Well, we're closer to the center field camera where we can try to see where the pitches are and how they're attacking the hitters. We complain a lot because our angle's bad, so we do a lot of complaining about the balls and strikes.
That happens all over the ballpark, though, Mickey.
Yeah, oh yeah, we're good at it too.
Hey, Mick, right now it's a little up in the air. You know, guys love to know their roles. You know when the phone rings, when the bullpen's going right, you know, who you're probably going to get up, who they want you to get up. Is it a little different right now with guys who really don't have roles?
They kind of know where they sit right now. Right now in September, their mindset is they're give me the ball, I'll go and get 3 outs as quick as I can. I mean, these guys are pretty tough mentally down here. There's no panic amongst any of these guys.
Well, they count 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ryan Howard. What about a night like this, Mick? I mean, is there somebody that has to be ready early or just gets prepared because of the inclement weather?
Oh, yeah, but, you know, some of the younger guys or the longer guys or guys that have been starting in AAA and things like that, have more innings in them. They kind of know who they are, but as the game goes on here, you should start to look at the short guys, the shorter relief guys.
You got enough seats out there?
Yeah, we're doing all right on seating.
Now, because Scott Air is unable to pitch, at least at this point, is he looking for stuff to do out there? Is that why he's hovering around you?
No, you know, he wants to get out here and get in the action. He's down a couple days, but he doesn't want to sit in the clubhouse. You lose touch with everything.
Yeah. Well, there's the bullpen right now for the Phillies. 4 left-handers listed there, including Sergio Escalona. Now, with all those guys out there, Mick, I mean, there are times when you need to get guys some work who haven't had a chance to pitch, as Ibanez bounces a single to right field. I mean, are there techniques that guys have to keep themselves sharp?
Yeah, they keep moving around. When they get in the middle of the game, they move around and stretch out a little bit. But the last couple of nights, like Esky got some side work in. Kyle, I think he's pitching Sunday the first game. He threw about 35 pitches last night. You know, just trying to get downhill on the mound and stay sharp.
You know, part of the bullpen camaraderie always seems to be you guys got to have some fun. Now, they didn't do it to you. You're all right. I know you're looking for the gum, right? Mm-hmm. You guys got to have some fun out there. Is this a good group? Do you guys enjoy yourselves during the game?
Oh yeah, this is the best group I've ever been around. These guys they're loose, but they're watching. You know, the laughter keeps their body warm, keeps them loose. You know, and by the 5th or 6th inning, you'll see them focus in there pretty good. They get their mind right when they have to.
Now, part of that, too, is your focus. I mean, you have to know what a hitter has done during the course of a ball game in order to whisper it to those guys and let them know when they're warming up, hey, listen, this guy did this guy did that. Look at this spot when you're coming into a ball game.
Yeah, we talk about the hitters, how to attack them in a certain situation and what to do later in the game when runners are on, things like that. I got some scouting report stuff up here that they all glance at.
Well, there's a pretty good double play right there by David Wright, 5-3. So 2 away, and Ibanez is up at second base. Well, as the stretch run goes on, Mickey, we've talked the last couple of years about competition. These guys, I mean, they compete against each other, don't they? I mean, it's a friendly competition between the guys in the bullpen, isn't it?
Well, they like to competition's good. You know, they like to stay on top of each other, but they also like to bail each other out. When a guy's scuffling, another guy goes in and picks them up. You know, it's a team. I mean, this team, they showed you what they've done the last couple of years, how they play as a team. And we got another run coming in us, I believe. We got another hot streak coming. Sometimes you make some mistakes in the field and you press at the plate, things like that. You don't mesh the game together. But now, I think we got another one coming. I think we got a good streak coming. Start scoring a couple runs and pitching you little lighter innings out there. We'll be fine. All
right. Well, I hope Ryan enjoys those potato chips as the day moves on, and we appreciate it, Mick, that you come out tonight.
No problem. It was fun.
See you, Mickey. Thanks.
I'll see you.
Mick Billmeyer, the Phillies bullpen coach, out there in center field. And the Phils with 2 outs and a runner on second base. They count 2 balls and 1 strike to Pedro Feliz. Scott Ayers trying to explain the bubble gum. It's 2-2 to Pedro. You know, Mickey thought that that Starr, who is the security guard out in the bullpen, had put the bubble gum on top of his hat, when in reality Starr had it on his hat.
Yeah, that's why they were laughing out there. The players were really enjoying it that they had gotten Starr. And Starr thought that he was involved in everything, and now he realized he's been had. And of course they're enjoying that.
Pedro lines one to left field. It's a base hit. A little dunker. Ibanez around third. He's going to score, and the Phillies lead it 2-0.
Well, I mentioned the first time with Pedro Feliz, he hit a first ball fastball. Well, this at bat, Figueroa was just staying with breaking balls, sliders, curveballs, and Pedro hit one there. There's Raul, who got the base hit in the hole to right. Second on the double play. Now here's another breaking ball. That was more of a curveball. You can see it kind of just spun and rolled up there. It didn't have a whole lot on it. Hung up there, and Pedro did a good job putting it into play. Knocked in a run.
So 2 away, runner on first. Phillies lead it 2-0. Carlos Ruiz the batter, and Carlos sends one in the air to right field. Jeff Francoeur to the warning track, makes the grab, and the inning is over. But the Phillies do get one more. They strand one. We've played 3. It's 2-0 Phillies. Dodge, live strong, live bold, live now. Dodge, grab life. And by WB Mason. Who but WB Mason for amazingly low office product prices? 3 in the books here at Citizens Bank Park. Ashburn Alley still busy despite the rain that has been falling since the start of this game. Jeff Francoeur leads it off for the Mets against Cole Hamels, and he swings at the first pitch, and he pops it foul. Francoeur singled his first time up, so he's 1 for 1. One of 2 hits surrendered by Hamels in this game.
Okay, Ruiz giving him that high target. He will swing at that fastball that's up out of the zone, but if you get it a little lower, he can hit that pitch.
A line drive, base hit for Francoeur. That was a changeup. Yeah, that's his second hit of the night.
Now you don't like to see that. No balls, 2 strikes.
Just get that pitch down a little bit more, Sarge.
Even though it was down and he hit a pretty good pitch, you can afford to get that one even off the plate a little and see whether or not he would actually chase the ball. That is a good pitch. He goes down and get it, but you know, again, you can elevate it up or even a little higher out of the zone maybe.
Well, Fernando Tatis flying out to center his first time up. That ended the first inning. And he takes a fastball in. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Sarge, give me a report about the scouting, about the elements here. Scouting report as a player. What you go through on a game like this when it's been raining just about the entire ball game.
Well, this rain though isn't as bad. You know, not raining as hard, although it's pretty steady. You just don't like it when it's coming off your helmet and then it starts to kind of maybe drip down a little bit. But I think it would be more difficult for the pitcher. You know, the grip of the ball and then striding, maybe slipping a little bit.
Another strike, 1-2 the count. Good changeup on the inside part of the plate. He's done that a lot tonight.
Yeah, these guys seem to always jump back on balls that are inside, even if they're not at them.
Tatis back in 1999 had 34 home runs and 107 runs batted in. That was his career high in both of those categories. He never came close to those numbers after that season. And he has fought his way back the last couple of years to, stick with the team, the Mets in this case. Maybe not as an everyday player, but he's been with the big league team every day this year.
Yeah, he was having some good years and played third base, I believe, at one time, having a great year with those home runs.
And Jerry Manuel has moved him from third to first to the outfield. He's played some short, played some second. There's a chopper foul up the third base line. And Frank Core goes back to first. Guy somehow got his claws into that ball, which was underneath the tarp, and still managed to stay in the stands. To right field, not deep. Worth coming on, and he's there. And one away. Back to first goes Frank Core. Monday, September 28th at 7:05. It's the final Hatfield Dollar Dog Night here at the ballpark. That game sold out, but there are still seats available for the next 3 games against the Astros. All 3 are at 7:05, the 29th, the 30th, and October 1st. Don't forget, September and October baseball has been very exciting here in Philadelphia the last couple of years. Might be once again. Log on to Phillies.com to purchase your tickets. One out. Here's Nick Evans. He popped Chase his first time up. Good play by Carlos, and the count 1-0. Evans spent most of the year down in the minor leagues where he hit .211, 10 home runs at AAA Buffalo. He played last year in 50 games in the big leagues with the Mets. Sarge, this game is amazing. Thinking where the Mets were a year ago at this time, they were 3.5 up in the division over the Phillies, and now they come into play tonight 18 games back in the National League.
Really is unbelievable. One of their better pitchers, however, Santana, is down right now. That might have something to do with it, but they just haven't played very well. Beltran, another one of their players, Carlos Beltran, one of the better players in the game at his position in center field, and he's had nagging injuries.
Well, he's just come back. He's not playing tonight because of the wet conditions. 1-2 the count as Evans swings and misses at a changeup. Jose Reyes, their starting shortstop. Carlos Delgado, their starting first baseman. Both have missed significant time this year.
That's well, it looks like a changeup. Good movement on that pitch.
There's Gary Sheffield. He's been bothered by back spasms. He leads the team with 10 home runs.
Wow.
I mean, Frank Core has 12 overall, but 7 have come with the Mets, 5 with the Braves. But Sheffield has played all year. He is the team leader in homers with 10.
You would think that they might think about maybe bringing in those fences a little bit, or maybe making it a little bit more conducive for their hitters.
And another changeup swung on and missed by Evans. And he's down on strikes. That's the 4th strikeout for Cole. Now, here are all the injuries the Mets have had this year. John Maine, who's had a shoulder problem, is scheduled to pitch Sunday here at the ballpark, making his return. But the list goes on and on and on. It's affected their bullpen, their starting staff, and their position players.
Yeah, with Jose Reyes, the shortstop, he might be one of the most important players, maybe besides Santana, their pitcher. But you got to have that shortstop. Could you imagine not having J-Ro here the majority of the year at shortstop? That it would definitely hurt. Even though he's not having his best year offensively, he's still decent.
There's a pop up straight back above our heads. So the count is 0-2. Well, I guess we say that because in this game, and it's a great game, things change very quickly.
Well, they really do. That's why from year to year, that's how you have to judge players, is what you're doing for me today. Right? Same thing with Lidge. Great year. Last year, they could have done it without him, and this year, he's had some problems.
And that's why you savor great moments and really great runs. That's why the Phillies, in this run they've had, in this decade, has been just unbelievable. And
consistent with the players that they have in doing their job. And a lot of times we get spoiled because you think they should be doing better. Well, they are 5 games up, right. Still right now, although not playing as well as they would like. They're going to really need to put the whip to the horse here, I think, over this last week or so, especially when they go on the road. But right now, these games are very, very important to try and win these games here at home.
Well, they're in the middle of 16 straight against the National League East. And, they had 3 against the Nationals. They took 2 of 3. They have 4 here against the Mets and then 3 more against the Nationals next week. So this particular period is important, but then as they hit the road to take on the Braves, the Marlins, it gets even more important.
I got to tell you, that's a tough road trip.
Tough one.
Milwaukee, the end of the road trip, they're a pretty good ball club in terms of hitting. I haven't played very well this year, but you get in a fight with some of these teams, and all of the guys can hit. You can be in a little trouble.
Well, here the Phillies have jumped out to a 2-0 lead. Single runs in the 2nd and 3rd. There are 2 outs at the top of the 4th as Cole Hamels is about to throw his 70th pitch of the night. And he just misses. It's 2-2.
That's why it's so important, if you can, to be able to pick those runners up when you have them on third base, because a lot of times the home runs late in the game won't even come into play.
Toward third base. Bobbled by Feliz, kicked by Feliz, and that'll be his 14th error of the year. And the Mets have runners on 1st and 2nd.
Now he normally makes that play, just kind of rushed it a little bit. Had plenty of time, however, with Santos running. The ball did come up just a little bit, kind of took his eye off of it and couldn't find the handle. See how it comes up just a little bit on the heel. Got to look that ball into your glove. Nobody knows it better, though, than Pedro Feliz.
And now the number 8 batter, Wilson Valdez, the hitter. He flied out to right his first time up. And Cole starts him off with a changeup for a strike. It's 0-1.
Yes, this is when Cole was really so good last year. Anytime a player would have an error or things went wrong, he was able to strike out that batter or the next 2.
Another one toward third. That one foul. Pedro's probably hoping for another one to get to him so he can make the play cleanly.
Yeah, hoping for an out, making sure that they don't score just because he ended up making an error. It's always in the back of a player's mind when he's playing defense. You don't want to be the cause of a big inning or them scoring runs without getting clean base hits.
Count holds, no balls at 2 strikes. Yeah, last night, that error by Ian Desmond for the Nationals opened up that 9th inning for the Phillies, and it was then his fine defensive play that finished up that ball game. And he was probably sitting there at shortstop saying, oh man, if I could have just made a clean play.
or if it's a ball, it's just off the plate. Charlie's starting to bark a little bit. Where is that ball? See whether or not Ruiz moves the glove. Boy, maybe just a hair on the outside part of the plate.
That one's back toward the middle. Nice play by Hamels. Strong throw, and the inning is over. He put a little extra on that toss over to first base. He strands two. We head to the bottom of the fourth. The Phillies hanging on. McDonald's, I'm loving it. By Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines is ready when you are. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. By AT&T, your world delivered. And by Budweiser. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager. Bottom of the fourth inning. Cole Hamels will lead things off. This is estimated to be a sold-out crowd tonight, but obviously with the rain that's been falling for most of the afternoon, some of the folks not in their seats. They're wandering under the concourse here at the ballpark. But with this sold-out crowd tonight, as Cole Hamels evens the count 1-1, Phillies will go over the 3 million mark. Already over the 3.5 million mark in tickets sold, but officially over the 3 million mark with tonight's attendance. Diehards are out here with the umbrellas on as Cole is rung up, and a one man down here in the bottom of the fourth inning. So one away. Well, we talked about Charlie O'Gara before, who was up here in the press box manning the camera. And we also would like to say thank you to Christine Connors, who is our stage manager. Christine makes sure that the ship runs properly up here. Christine, a Penn State graduate, played soccer at Penn State, as Jimmy Rollins has another base hit. And we asked, different folks about what their greatest memory was or has been working here at the ballpark. And Christine's favorite memory was in 2007 when the Phillies clinched the National League East crown.
Yeah.
And she had the honor of escorting HK down to the clubhouse for the post-game celebration. Now that, for a lifelong Philly fan, was something pretty cool.
I would have to say so, especially with Harry Kay being from Penn State. Actually, Wills, loves that.
Oh, loves it. They walk in. One walks in at one point during the day and says, "We are," and the other one says Penn State. And then an hour later, the next one will do it, and it's just a total game. But Christine does tremendous work up here, and all the promos that you hear us read, she makes sure we have them. She makes sure that our wires are all protected when we go on camera, things like that. And we wouldn't be able to do what we do without Christine.
Well, I'll I'll second that emotion, okay?
I thought you were going to go somewhere else on that
I
one,
would
Sarge.
not do that, not with Christine. She does do a great job for us.
Want to know the count to Shane Victorino.
And she likes chocolates too, by the way.
Who doesn't? Jimmy swiped the bank the last time he was aboard. Yeah, that was his 27th stolen base of the year. And it's upstairs 2-0. See Figueroa's pitch count here in this bottom of the fourth inning. He's done a good job working the count against him.
And that's what you want to do, especially on these kind of pitches.
Well, Jimmy goes. He's going to have another stolen base. His second one of the night, 28th on the year. And most importantly, he's in scoring position once again.
Well, you would think that Victorino and J-Ro have a sign just about when he was going to steal, because he actually kind of impeded the vision as he comes. See that where he goes, where he almost fakes a little bit of a bunt? What that does is it keeps the catcher back from going up to take that throw.
Jimmy now with 323 career stolen bases. And he is fourth in Phillies history. There is going to be a day where he is going to be number 1 or 2 in a number of different offensive categories for this club.
No doubt about it.
And it's full 3-2 to Victorino.
Not only that, you might look at defensively. Now this guy here, I mean, he does. He plays a heck of a shortstop. Good range from left to right, and also a good arm as you take a look at Davey Lopes over there at first base.
Ball 4 and Victorino's aboard. Second time he's walked tonight. Phillies with 2 more base runners. And with 1 out, Chase Utley's going to get a chance to bat with a runner in scoring position. Jerry Manuel talking to Sandy Alomar Sr. in the dugout. He's his bench coach. They might be to the point where they're thinking about getting somebody up and loosening, although Figueroa is only down 2-0 with all the pitches he's thrown in this game.
Yeah, but they have had him on the ropes. A hit here or there to break this open. What you'd like to see is a base hit, run scored, and have runners at first and third, and kind of keep the train moving that way.
Just got the inside part of the plate.
Be pretty difficult for J-Ro to get a jump. Got the shortstop just about right on the bag. Always like to have that shortstop. He's a little bit further back.
The advantage, though, for Jimmy is if he can get some kind of jump, is that David Wright is way off the third base line.
Almost would have to hit a moving target, and he's got that hold at shortstop. I mean, you always ask yourself, why couldn't he just hit it there? But Chase more of a pull type of a hitter. He'll drive the ball, and he's been able to hook some balls even on the outside part of the plate into left field. This particular instance, you'd like to get a pitch and just hit it hard. Hope that it's in the gap.
He fouls that one off, so it's 1-2.
Yeah, fooled him on that pitch. There's his changeup. Well, Figueroa, he's a pitcher that just can't throw fastballs, and he has to hit his spots. Relies more on the hitter getting themselves out as opposed to him getting them out.
See how close Valdez is to Jimmy. And chases down on strikes. Second strikeout of the inning for Figueroa. And 2 away. Hey, visit the official online shop of the Phillies at Phillies.com. Browse the largest online selection of authentic team gear, including official caps, t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. Now check out the newly added Phillies Authentic section, featuring authenticated game-used items, memorabilia, as well as autographed items. Get your gear straight from the source. Shop the Phillies.com shop. 2 outs. Ryan Howard stands in. He's 0 for 1. Walked his last time up. And he takes one inside and low. 1 ball and no strikes. Ryan begins play tonight. Tied for 3rd in the league in home runs. He's tied with Prince Fielder. Albert Pujols leads the way with 47. Mark Reynolds has 41. And Ryan hits it hard, but it's right at Tatis. And the Phillies are going to strand 2 more. They've stranded 8 through the first 4 innings of tonight's ball game, including 2 here in the 4th. We head to the 5th. It's still a 2-0 Phillies lead. Top of the 5th inning here at Citizens Bank Park. Phillies lead it 2-0. It'll be Nelson Figueroa, then the top of the order for the Mets. Cole Hamels so far has allowed just 3 hits tonight, and he delivers one just off the outside corner to start this inning off. Figueroa flied to Jason Worth in right field his only time up, so he's 0 for 1. Line drive towards shortstop, caught by Jimmy Rollins. Oh, what a play by J-Roll. He followed it beautifully and picked it right off the top of the grass.
Oh, my. There you see Figueroa there, Nelson Figueroa, as he hits a line drive, change up. J-Roll up to the task as he flies right there into your pitcher. Boy, I tell you, what makes him make these plays, he gets an excellent jump when the ball is hit, catches that ball clearly off the ground, right in his glove.
Well, no doubt he looks more comfortable on this infield diamond than he did the last couple of days in Washington. That infield diamond just was causing havoc for Jimmy, it seemed, the entire series. It just looked very choppy out there for him. And you see, where he is as far as the shortstops go in the National League. He leads them in fielding percentage, and he's made just 5 errors this year and just finished up a stretch of 86 straight games without an error.
Yeah, you're right, though. He seemed to be a little bit hesitant on the ground balls, but usually he doesn't get those kind of throwing errors, but he had to rush them, and reason why he did.
1-2 the count to Angel Pagan, who's 0 for 2.
Good pitch. Don't see him throw a lot of curveballs. Don't know if he has a lot of confidence or he likes it, but that was a good pitch.
Is it not bad even to throw the third pitch if it's not a strike? You know, just to throw it just so they know he has it.
You're setting up though for your next pitch. So whatever pitch you throw, even though you throw it, and even if it bounces, if you're not able to get it in, yeah, because it gives the hitter something else to think about. Whoa, he might come in with that breaking ball.
Oh, cue shot. And that was the changeup. And it remains 2 balls and 2 strikes to Pagan.
Well, if he knows that he doesn't have that curveball that has that loop, now he's just looking more straight. Fastball or the changeup. Usually Cole has pretty good action on his changeup, especially when he has it going down, getting downward plane at it. That was another changeup and had movement going inside. I think when he's at his best, that changeup is low starting and out over the plate with movement moving away.
And there's the changeup. Swung on and missed. Second time he's got Pagan tonight. 2 away here in the 5th inning. Coming up tonight on My PHL 17 News, will this rain ever end? The complete Earth Watch forecast for the weekend, plus how the Delaware Valley remembered 9/11 after the game on My PHL 17 News at 10. I think the rain will end, Sarge. I think by tomorrow it's going to be clear skies for the rest of the weekend.
Well, according to Jim Jackson, it should be out of here a little later on tonight. Did check with him right before I came on.
Okay. 1-0 count to Luis Castillo. Our chief meteorologist here at the ballpark is Jim Jackson. And 1-1 the count to Castillo. I think he was busy with the Flyers today, so he said that he didn't have a chance to take a look at the radar before he arrived at the ballpark. I think that was just a cover.
That's another good pitch. That's again when he's at his best. You're able to get the off-speed pitches over, makes the fastball that much harder, especially in the eyes of a hitter.
Chopper back toward the middle. Chase charges, has it, throws on the run in time to get Castillo, and the inning is over. 1, 2, 3 go. The Mets. Pretty good defense by the Phillies in this inning. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Raul Ibanez will lead things. Ibanez quickly will go to work against Nelson Figueroa. Raul has a single and a run scored. He now has 10 hits in his last 26 at bats. And Raul pulls that one down the right field line. It's a fair ball heading to the corner. He's around first, heading to second base. Francoeur will hold him to a double, and that's the second hit of the night for Raul Ibanez. And Sarge, every time he gets another multi-hit game, that is a great sign that, you know, that stretch of struggles that he had is maybe behind him.
Well, look how short and quick he is to this ball, and that's a good pitch as he just drops the head on it for his 30th double there of the season. Seeing that ball ricochet. Too bad Francoeur wasn't a little bit closer when that ball ricocheted. Now this is when you need to be able to manufacture a run, nobody out, being able to get them over some kind of way and get them in.
4 players now in the Phillies with 30 doubles or more.
Pretty good try right there by Jason Worth, making the effort to go the other way. Hit that ball off the end of the bat. Usually pitchers will throw you inside when they think you're trying to hit that ball the other way.
Way outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. I always wonder, Sarge, you know, when you have a guy like Jason who is an RBI guy, and you're trying to play a little small ball, is it hard for him to give himself up because you know he can drive in runs?
Yeah, I don't know if it's hard for him to do that.
He rolls it right to David Wright. That's not what he wanted to do, obviously.
Well, got out in front of that ball, and when you get out in front on a breaking ball, that's what usually going to happen. You know, you want to try and stay back, even if you get jammed, hit the ball the other way. Now, he's out in front, and you see how he reaches for that ball? And he knows there that as he throws the bat down, that's not really what he wanted to do. You know, and don't forget, now guys can get over on deep fly balls, so you're not going to take away from his swing. Once you get 2 strikes, now you can cut it down, and whatever happens usually happens. But up to 2 strikes, you want to be able to try and still drive it.
Pedro lets the slider go by for a strike. There's no doubt Jason has piled up some great numbers this year. 84 runs batted in, 33 home runs, but he is upset with himself here that he didn't at least get the runner over. And Pedro Feliz is going to strand Ibanez at second as well. 2 away. They'll bring Carlos Ruiz to the plate. You know, with all what we've seen the Phillies do, Sarge, over the last few weeks, struggling with runners in scoring position, very few times do we say, hey, you know what, that guy made a good pitch.
Well, you know what, I could say, well, he made a good pitch, but I think it's more poor execution for me from our side, guys not able to do the job. And I say that because you're talking about Nelson Figueroa, a guy that can't throw the ball by you, so you should be able to try and drive that ball the other way. You know, a guy throwing 96, 97, Pelfrey, who throws the ball a little more difficult to get it over because he throws a little bit harder.
Now the intentional walk to Ruiz means that Cole Hamels will bat with runners on first and second. So after Jason Worth grounded out to third and Pedro Feliz popped out to left, Phillies' numbers with runners in scoring position have, you know, fallen to 1 for 10 in tonight's game.
Pretty good swing by Cole Hamels on the first pitch fastball. Outfield has shortened up, so it'll be a little more difficult for Ibanez to score. He's going to have to get a good jump.
Slider cut on and missed, and it's 1-2. And Figueroa reaches the 100 pitch mark in tonight's ball game.
Well, you know, when they get to 100, it's not going to be many more after that. Well, it looks like, I don't know, he could be tiring a little bit, but this has been his MO just about the whole game. Seems to have had runners on every inning except for, well, just about every inning.
Cole stays alive. Yeah, the Phillies so far have stranded 8 through the first 4. They got 2 more out there here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th inning.
You know, in a lot of the Fighting Fields games, it's just been maybe one situation or one big hit that might have broken that game open to make it a little more comfortable for the guys.
Pretty good at bat by Cole. This will be the 7th pitch of this at bat. He's already fouled off 3. And he's down on strike. So the Phillies have stranded 10 through the first 5 innings, but they still lead it 2-0 as we go to the top of the 6th inning. It'll be David Wright, Jeff Francoeur, Fernando. Nationals. The wins might be harder to come by than they were in the late 90s, but they keep coming. And they are brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. We're here for you every step of the way. Well, there is Pedro Martinez trying to stay dry watching this ball game between the Phillies and his old team, the New York Mets. He threw 6 2/3 on Tuesday against the Nationals. He has gotten better and better as his outings have gone on, and his next outing will be Sunday night against the Mets. He'll be opposed by Tim Redding. That'll be game 2 of the day-night doubleheader. Looks like Kyle Kendrick will pitch game 1, depending on how the rest of this weekend goes on for the Phillies. But in game 2 at 8:05, it'll be Pedro against Tim Redding, the final game of this series. Well, we begin the top of the 6th inning. Cole Hamels has a 2-0 lead, and David Wright leads it off, and he takes a pitch outside and high. Phillies just have not been able to blow this one open. They have stranded 10 through 5 innings. That's a lot of base runners.
Oh, it really is.
But Cole has been right on top of his game. And he gets David Wright for the 3rd time tonight.
Well, since David's been hit in the head, has not been swinging the same. And it does take you some time to get back sort of in the saddle again and swinging the bat the way you're capable of. He's got a little bit of a loop almost and leaving the plate as opposed to going in it. We've seen him hit a lot of balls to right field or to right center And again, when you get hit in the head, you see the ball up near your head area, automatically you're going to flinch.
Charlie Manuel tells a story about how Jerry Royce beamed him with a pitch in the minor leagues. You know, remember Jerry Royce?
Oh, yeah.
Lefty from the Los Angeles Dodgers. Were you ever hit in the head?
No, never hit in the head.
Line drive by Francoeur. That's a fair ball heading down toward the corner. And Francoeur has his third hit of the night as he pulls into second with a one-out double. But when a guy gets hit in the head like David Wright did earlier this season, you say it takes some time, but is there one thing that can get you out of it? Or is it just time?
Well, it has to do with the person, his own makeup, you know, and getting hit. Again, what you're really tested on is the right-handed pitchers when they're throwing breaking balls at you or fastballs that would be up and in.
One away. Here's Fernando Tatis. Back into the seat, so it's 1-1 to Tatis, so he's flying to center. And he's also fly to Jason Worth in right field, so he's 0 for 2. And Carlos Ruiz is going to head out to the mound for a conversation with Cole. We just mentioned that Pedro Martinez is going to pitch the night game in the day-night doubleheader on Sunday. Just a reminder that if you hold tickets to the first game, which is at 1:05, it's game number 71 on your ticket. Game 2 is game number 16 on your ticket. That is the game originally scheduled for May 3rd. For more information on that day-night doubleheader, you can log on to Phillies.com. Oh boy, that is one of the best changeups that he's thrown tonight, if only because of the action that Tatis was watching coming to the plate.
Boy, you're right on that, and good arm motion. As if it's a fastball, you can see how much out in front he was on that pitch. Boy, good deception, good movement when he throws that ball in that area.
Another one. He's down on strikes. Boy, oh boy, that has been nasty tonight. 6 strikeouts for Hamels.
Well, that's one of those pitches when you know that it's coming. Guess what? You still can't hit it, and you still look how off balance Tatis is on that, and he's even looking outside. There's the grip. There's the changeup in a good spot, not able to hit it.
Evans has popped to second. He is struck out 0 for 2. And he's ahead 1 ball and no strikes.
He's thrown so many changeups. See right there, Evans getting frozen with a fastball 91. Just the opposite when you're throwing a lot of fastballs. They're looking for that fastball. Oh, good pitch. Maybe a little bit low, but good pitch and good action on it.
Curveball, 2 fastballs, and then finally the changeup, and it's 2-2. Francoeur's on second base.
This guy's jumping back, and the ball's almost right down the middle of the plate. It was just down. Yeah, you're not fooling the umpire when you jump back from a pitch. You need to be trying to stay in there to take a look at it.
Hit toward the hole at shortstop, and it's backhanded by Jimmy Rollins. It's going to be an infield hit, but it saves a run as Francoeur stops at third. 2 on, 2 outs. And Evans has his first hit of the night. Charlie has changed from the well of that dugout where he normally sits to stand on the stairs.
Well, here's your shortstop, J-Rose, saving another run. If it gets through, Frank Core will score there from third base, so he's able to keep him right here. This is big. Want to shut him down. Definitely right here. I mean, it's just, you got 2 outs. End of the lineup. These are the guys that you want to try and get out.
Towards center field, Victorino's got it. And the inning is over. So Hamels strands 2. Frank Core's 1-out double wasted by the Mets as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Jefferson University Hospitals. Call 1-800-JEF-NOW and buy your local Chevy dealers. Well, we move to the bottom of the 6th inning on a night and a day that we remember those who lost their lives on September 11th and afterward. Boy, baseball was such a big part of the healing process. It still is. But the healing process that year, 2001, and that postseason between the Diamondbacks and the Yankees when then President George Bush threw that strike at Yankee Stadium, one of the more memorable moments in World Series history. As Jimmy Rollins leads it off here in the bottom of the 6th inning, he takes a pitch for a strike. Jimmy's 2 for 3 RBI single earlier in the ball game. National pastime all the time, and it never more than in 2001 was it our national pastime. It was such a difficult time after the attacks on September 11th for so many folks that baseball just wasn't sure when and if it should resume that year. Chopper by Jimmy to first base, and he just barely throws the bat away before Tatis retires him. And Bud Selig, the commissioner then, and President Bush really conferred a lot and decided that it was important for the game to continue. And September 17th is when the games restarted in Philadelphia. And that scene with Larry Bowa with the tear coming down his cheek. Oh, I mean, that was the scene that you saw all over baseball, from Philadelphia to Seattle. I mean, there were just some stirring moments that night when baseball did resume.
Yeah, very, very sad time, and I'm sure everybody remembers exactly where they were on 9/11.
It changed the lives of so many people, including those who are serving in our armed services, our armed forces. not only here in the States, but also abroad.
Well, and that's why, too, the guys get so much respect all over the country, and especially at ballparks. Usually get a standing ovation every time they're announced.
That's right, boys. You are on television. 2-1 the count to Victorino. And Shane lines one toward right field. Francoeur's not going to get it. One hop off the base of the wall. Watch speed against this arm, and it's Victorino who wins the race to second base. That's his second double of the night, 36th double of the year. That's a great battle right there between Shane's legs and Francoeur's arm.
Yeah, well, in most cases, too, though, Shane is going to win this race. High fastball that he picks up on. Francoeur gets a nice hop, and he does show that arm off. One of the better arms in the game today. There it is. Solid contact. Shane hits the bag, and he's running. He's going, and he's getting faster as he goes in.
So again, a runner in scoring position for the Phillies. Phillies have only one hit with runners in scoring position tonight. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike now to Chase. Ken Takahashi up and loosening in the bullpen for the Mets. He's one of their long men. .115 pitches for Figueroa. And he's hung in there.
Well, he really has. And just battling, and again, the fighting fields have had him on the ropes a couple of times, or a few times. I tell you, just a good pitch on the outside part of the plate. Took something off of that. Called that as a backdoor slide piece. A lot of times he'll throw that slider down at the back foot of the left-hander. And he has that two-seamer fastball that starts inside and comes back on that left-hander.
That pickoff play nearly went awry as that ball was flying away from Wilson Valdez. And Chase lines it, a base hit it to right field. Victorino held up to see if that ball was caught, and Francoeur's throw stops him at third. So the Phillies have runners on first and third. First hit of the night for Chase. That's really all Sam Palazzo could do in a spot like that.
Oh, no chance to send him. That ball that was sent, Francoeur got such a great jump coming in, and he threw the ball low, and when you do that, it's going to freeze Chase that would have been going to second. Now watch this as he comes in. Now look how hard he goes, and he gets off a low throw. That's where you want to throw it, because you're going to freeze the runner. And you saw Chase Utley as he throws it right on the money. Victorino had to hesitate. Line drive. He's looking at Sam Palazzo there, and he held him up all the way, and for good reason. He would have been DOA at the plate.
All right, Ken. 6-hole for the Mets. That's the double switch put in by Jerry Manuel. You see Takahashi's numbers, 22 games, 0-1, a 2.66 ERA, and he's gotten better as his tenure with the Mets has gone on. Not a bad outing by Nelson Figueroa. He's been teetering the entire night, but he never teetered off the ropes. And Ryan Howard will be the batter with runners on first and third and 1 out. This is a similar spot to last night's 9th inning for the Phillies. The difference is this is the 6th. They're up 2-0, but it's the same setup. Utley's on first, and there's a runner on third. And it was Victorino last night. And Ryan now has the count even, 1 ball and 1 strike. And this is what happened last night.
Well, that's a ball there that was in. Pitcher's pitch as they get Howard. Wasn't happy about that at all.
Now, he spent a few minutes in the dugout after that ball game.
Well, the one thing that upset him was the pitch that was called on him, the very first pitch. But when that happens, you got to step back out, kind of really regroup, kind of gather your thoughts, and then go up there, because at the time, only 1 run down. So you're really trying to get a pitch to drive out there. And I did think that ball was inside, and also the ball he swung at, I thought it was borderline in.
That's a tough pitch there.
Well, and again, that's exactly what I'm talking about. But now you got to go on and regroup. You know, get back, see exactly where this ball is. Well, you got to make your own mind up on that. I know one thing, you can't take that with 2 strikes.
So it is 2-2 against Ryan. He's down on strikes. It was almost like a screwball from Takahashi. It was a changeup.
Yep.
But it almost had that screwball action on it.
Well, one of the things they haven't been very well at, they've been pretty good, but this situation, see that changeup breaks back down in. That runner on third base, less than 2 outs. Fighting Phil's just, for whatever reason, haven't done a good job this year in getting those guys in.
Elmer descends, loosening up in the bullpen. So Takahashi facing Ibanez with 2 outs, runners on first and third. Raul is 2 for 3. Another multi-hit night for Raul. And he's ahead, 1 ball and no strikes. Phillies are 3 for 13 with runners in scoring position tonight. Make that 3 for 12, counting the hit by Utley.
Yeah, that's the point I'm making, that you've had situations where they could have scored a few more runs. As that's a strike. As it kind of comes there letter high. But, you know, you got to be able to get those key hits. And where that comes into play is when you're in the playoffs and you have those good pitchers. You got to be able to grind out runs from maybe getting a ground ball and not getting a hit in an RBI.
Towards shortstop, and that's going to be the inning. As Chase is retired at second, Phillies now have stranded 12 through the first 6 innings. They still, though, lead it 2-0 as we go to the 7th.
Well, playing through the rain tonight, Cole Hamels has really been good. The Phillies offense, well, what can you say? Base runners on all over the place, and they have managed to leave an even dozen on through 6, but have scored 2, and Cole right now is making that hold up with a solid 6. 5 hits. He's only walked 1 and struck out 6 tonight. He's really pitched well through 6 innings, but once again, Tom, it's the old LOBs.
Yeah, Phillies have stranded 12 through the first 6 innings of this game, and a little diamond dry out on the mound just to dry up the moisture. It has rained from the start of this game through the 6th inning, and now as we go to the 7th inning, it's 2-0 Phillies. Well, they have done it as much as they can to make sure this field is as dry as possible for this ball game.
They've done a great job out here tonight.
And Cole is not pitching tonight like he's pitching in San Diego. He's pitching tonight like he's pitching in San Francisco. Grounds crew did some great work before the ball game just to get this field in playing shape. Here's Wilson Valdez to lead things off. He shows bunt, takes a fastball, or a changeup, excuse me, low. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Boy, that looked like a fastball. That didn't look like a changeup. Came in at 85 according to the gun. Valdez 0 for 2. And there's a base hit for Wilson Valdez. Now, with all the runners the Phillies have left on base, the fact they have just 3 hits with runners in scoring position, it leaves Cole with very little wiggle room in tonight's ball game.
Right, and you're letting the Mets hang around like this, and you know, and it's a weird night with this weather and all. You know, balls can be funny. Balls can shoot through the infield there. His pitch count's getting up there too. He's at 107, so they're going to get Chano Park up.
So Park is loosening. Corey Sullivan will bat for the first time for the Mets. Sullivan hitting .280 with a couple home runs and 13 RBIs.
Sure, Sam Perlaza thought about trying to score, but even with a wet ball and Francoeur coming at you that hard, you got to stop him.
But he would have been out at the plate.
And you know, third base coaches know the situation. He knew the left-hander was up for Howard, and that was going to happen for Howard and Ibanez. But you know, you almost were going to run him into an out with Howard coming up, and even though a left-hander was coming into the game.
Yeah, Francoeur doesn't miss often, and he missed earlier in the game, but that throw would have gotten Victorino at the plate. Another base hit, and the Mets now have runners on first and second with nobody out. And back to the top of the order for Angel Pagan. Well, these lucky fans are tonight's Citizens 7. They will receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. Charlie Manuel just working on that gum. He's content to allow Cole to continue pitching tonight. He's done so well tonight.
Well, he's going to give him Pagan because he's really handled him. Pagan really hasn't had good swings at him tonight, so they're going to take their chances with one more hitter here. How much longer he's going to go with him.
Rich Doobie out to the mound just to give Cole a moment, reestablish the scouting report. Gary Darling's going to break up the conversation. Razor Shines talking to Pagan. Would they bunt Pagan here?
I was thinking the same thing, whether they would do it or not. You know, Castillo coming up will probably make contact. He'd play the infield back, get a run out of it for sure. I don't know.
I think Pedro Feliz is laying down some signs, thinking that there is a chance there's going to be a bunt by Pagan.
Have to play for it. You know, you can't get caught by surprise here.
Pagan squares, and he does bunt in the air on one hop. Cole has one play in the sacrifice, and they'll term it that will be successful for Pagan. So 1-4 on that put out. Cole was really trying to catch that ball out of the air.
Yeah, and he almost got there too. But now, as I say, here in the 7th inning, going to play. Here it is. Here's the bunt. It's in the air, but not long enough. And then he makes a really nice play there. And Ryan Howard hits the ground to get out of the way.
So the Phillies will play the infield back with one out, leading it 2-0.
And that's their thinking now with Castillo coming up, that they know the Phillies are going to play the infield back in the 7th inning with a 2-run lead. He puts a ball in play on the ground, they get a run. And it's only 2-1 in the 7th inning with all these base runners the Phillies have had.
Coming down pretty good now. I mean, it's basically been the same kind of mist, but it's a little bit harder now here in the top of the 7th inning. Towards center field, Victorino coming on, makes the catch, tagging from third, Valdez. Here's the throw to the plate on one hop, not in time. It's a sac fly, but an out is recorded. It's now a 1-run game.
Well, they could run there. Razor Shines had no problem running there because that ball took off on Victorino and he caught it back on his heels. And even though he got quite a bit on it, he wasn't able to get enough on it. If he caught that ball coming straight in, I don't know. Maybe they don't run him. But the way that he caught that ball, they were able to score.
So Victorino makes that grab for the second out.
Watch right here. Now see how he catches that back a little bit. And now it's a much harder throw for Shane. And that ball was hit really hard and it just took off.
Well, that's going to be it for Cole Hamels. He's going to leave after Victorino makes that grab. 6 2/3 innings for Cole. 1 run allowed. The runner on second. Out 6. The runner on second is his responsibility. He's allowed just 1 run. And he'll give way to Chan-Ho Park. What a good night for Cole Hamels. Another good bounce back night.
Especially in these conditions with the ball wet. Just kind of a sloppy night. Chilly. And he did a really good job. He only walked 1. He struck out 6. And makes a nice play there. Throws the runner out. And you said before this inning started, they gave him 0 wiggle room by leaving all these men on base. And sure enough, base hit, and a run in with 2 outs, and they go to Chan-Ho Park.
Well, I guess they figured David Ryan has the best batting average against left-handers this year, and they figure Cole's gotten him 3 times. They might as well go to the right-hander, Chan-Ho Park, who's in his 43rd game, 3-3, a 4.54 ERA. And he is facing David Wright with a runner on second base. That's the tying run. Slider in there for a strike.
When you've been hit the way David Wright was, and this is a cruel game, you want to throw breaking balls at him. There's no doubt about throwing a lot of breaking balls if you can, because it's hard to stay in there after you've been hit like that. It's a real challenge.
Went outside and low. 1 ball and 1 strike. David was hit by that Matt Cain fastball on the 15th of August. Back toward the middle. Jimmy to his left. Nice hop for him behind the bag, and the inning is over. The Mets do get 1. Chan-Ho Park, though, with a couple of pitches, strands Corey Sullivan on second. It's time to stretch here in Philadelphia. PHI in their first 12 games with the team.
Come on.
Well, one of them was this year.
Well, Jeff Francoeur got off to a great start with him, so I'm going to say Jeff Francoeur.
There you go.
But other than that, I have no idea.
Just make a guess, a wild guess.
Well, it's up there.
All right, Carlos Delgado in 2006.
I want to cheat.
Log back on to Phillies.com. Find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. And thanks for playing Dodge. Stump the fans. Well, bottom of the 7th inning here at Citizens Bank Park. It's a 2-1 game. By the way, some news around baseball tonight. Derek Jeter has broken the Yankees record for most hits as a member of the New York Yankees. He becomes the all-time hits leader in Yankees history with his 2,722nd base hit, passing Lou Gehrig.
You know, anytime you're the all-time Yankee in anything,
that's particularly that number.
Well, you're going to normally break the record of a huge name if you're the all-time Yankee in something. And, you know, he went by Mantle, Ruth, and Gehrig. You know, those are pretty good names.
Yeah, you would think that one of those guys at some point, you know, one of them would have 3,000 hits, but of course Gehrig's career was cut short by the disease. Babe Ruth was a pitcher for the first part of his career with the Red Sox,
and Mantle had the bad knees.
Mantle had the bad knees. Yeah.
If Mickey Mantle hadn't been hurt, you know, if Mantle hadn't been hurt so much, obviously he would have had way over 3,000 hits.
Well, Elmer Descends will take over here in the bottom of the 7th inning for the Mets. 24th game, no wins, no losses, a 2.73 earned run average. Phillies trying to win here tonight. They're getting good news down in Florida tonight, at least into the bottom of the 7th inning, as Jason Worth leads it off for the Phillies. Jason's 0 for 3. And the count is 1 ball and 1 strike to him. And on the Toyota Major League scoreboard, there you see Mike Morse, a 2-run double. Ryan Zimmerman, a solo home run. The Nationals lead it 5-2. They've knocked Josh Johnson out of that ball game.
The Phillies have to win their own games too. You know, there's a long way to go in that game, and you know they're trying here tonight. They certainly have had. They went after Nelson Figueroa, and Figgy, to his credit, kept getting out of jams. Brett Myers looks like he's going to pitch the 8th inning tonight.
So it'll be either Ryan Matson or Brad Lidge in the 9th inning for the Phillies if it's a save situation. Jason the opposite way, a base hit. Now that's a good swing. It's a leadoff single here in the 7th inning.
Yeah, that was a good swing. Really stayed back on that one and hit the ball hard the other way.
You know, Wheels, they went over 3 million fans here tonight officially at Citizens Bank Park, and so many folks have watched so many games here. Well, you can hold your next corporate or social event here at this ballpark as well. You can do it year round. Call 215-218-5100 or log on to Phillies.com/special events for more details. Pedro Feliz, the hitter, he's got 2 hits tonight. Pedro with 38 multi-hit games this year. And Jason didn't get back until after he fell flat on his belly.
Right.
And then reached.
And he's got a long reach, and that helped that time. He got caught in that mud a little bit as he started back. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, that hand hit, and it just stuck.
Pedro thought about a bunt, takes the pitch for a strike.
Well, they do sacrifice with Pedro Feliz. We've seen that over the years. He normally gets it down when he's asked to do that, and it looks like they're trying to do that and play for an extra run here, because you know you're going to hit for the pitcher with Myers up.
Pitcher spot is due up after Carlos Ruiz, who's on deck.
Right, you wouldn't bunt here if the pitcher were staying in the game.
He bunts it in the air toward first. It's a foul ball.
And the number one thing about bunting, especially sacrificing, is make sure it's a strike. And in that case, Pedro did not have a strike to bunt, so now he'll take it off.
Jason Worth will go back to first base. Pedro has faced Descends and has a couple of 2-base hits against him.
There's a lot of sliders, this guy. Breaking ball pitcher.
Right past the catcher, Omir Santos.
Where's that deflection when they needed it last
thinking
night?
the same thing. Where's that crowd mic?
Charlie, Manuel, we were talking about that before the game, and you and I discussed it on the air last night. How did that ball come straight back off those rocks back behind home plate in Washington? In this case, that is airmailed right to the padding and where that crowd mic is back there. That's why you heard that thunk so loud and clear. But last night, that thing came back so fast the catcher almost missed it.
Take a listen to this.
That's when you get near a mic. Well, he got him over.
Maybe he can get him over to third.
That's what he's thinking.
He really got a little bit more than that.
Well, 2 strikes is a lot tougher, especially when you get an up and in pitch like that. It looks like a high fastball. I mean, still, some guys can do it with 2 strikes, but it's a lot harder.
Back toward the middle. That's going to get the runner over to third. Ooh. Valdez nearly enabled Pedro Feliz to beat that throw over to first base.
A little bar of soap. Ball's wet, but still. A good job by Pedro, too. I just mentioned how tough it is to try and get a guy over with 2 strikes. And, you know, he got a breaking ball down and made contact. Here's Valdez just taking his time there and flips that grenade over, and he was almost safe.
So Pedro at least got the runner over to third.
It's a nice job with 2 strikes on you, Tom, what he did. And now let's see if they can capitalize on getting the guy in from third.
Carlos 0 for 1. He walked his first time up, was intentionally walked in the 5th inning. Pedro Feliciano and Brian Stokes. Feliciano the left-hander, Stokes the right-hander. Wheels, talk to me about the possibility of a squeeze here.
I think Charlie squeezed once since he's been here, right?
I think Carlos did it. Carlos or Pedro?
The thing is, you know, it's so much quote unquote easier to hit a fly ball than to suicide squeeze. However, with this team, it's not necessarily. But the squeeze is still a play that looks so great when it works, and it doesn't work that often.
One ball, 1 strike to count to Carlos.
So I didn't answer your question, but I just set up both scenarios.
So he's not going to squeeze.
Me,
here.
I'd swing the bat, but you know. Squeeze used to be a big part of baseball, you know, because you play the game differently. They don't, you know, it's not like they even bunt that much anymore.
He's fouled off the last 2. Unfortunately, they've been pitches that he could drive, and he hasn't been able to. So 1-2 the count to Carlos. I should say popped up the last 2, but unfortunately been fouled.
So many guys are trying to get this done in these situations. They're trying so hard that sometimes, you know, a lot of people think maybe they're trying too hard and just not able to relax and get it done.
Inches away from a possible extra base hit and an RBI. Jason Worth over third, taking that lead in foul territory.
That's why you take it in foul territory, just for that reason, in case it hits you. Jason, a nice walking lead off third. I don't know whether they go on contact or not with Stairs on deck.
2 balls, 2 strikes the count.
Already had 1 wild pitch, and this guy throws a lot of sliders. There's Matt, who hit the slam last night. Pitcher throws a lot of sliders. That's his out pitch, and that means he's going to work that ball in the dirt a lot of times to his catcher Santos. So If you're the third runner at third base, you want to have a walking lead, looking towards right field and in motion towards the plate when the pitch is thrown, in case something bounces away.
That's a good eye right there. That's a tough pitch to hold off on.
And here's the walking lead. And you want your momentum coming towards home plate when that pitch is delivered. Give yourself a chance. Sometimes guys get caught where they're leaning back a little bit. Ball bounces away. They can't score.
3 balls, 2 strikes the count. Carlos asked for time. Gets some of the rain off of the brim of his cap, bill of his cap. To center field, he got the fly ball. Pagan going back, and he makes the grab, but Worth will tag from third, and he'll score. And the Phillies' lead is back to 2 on the sac fly by Carlos Ruiz.
Yeah, you knew he could do it. That's a good at bat. He spent some time. Carlos had a quick, tough pitch, and he really drove that ball. Pagan made a nice play on it. Here it is. They're going to go away with a slider. A decent breaking ball there too. Pagan makes a nice play. Good job by Carlos to get that runner in. Jason Worth knows it's plenty deep. Just don't leave early.
So he scores an RBI for Ruiz. That's his 37th of the year. And the two parties who were part of that run for the Phillies talking about it there as Matt Stairs digs in.
Yeah, it was a good job by them. Good job by Pedro Feliz with 2 strikes to get him over.
Stairs a grand slam last night. Those are his numbers this year as a pinch hitter. He has 3 homers against the Sens for his career. 0-2.
And Charlie was talking about him before the game, that he said, you know, I have a confidence in this guy that sooner or later he's going to run into a fastball. He did.
So much was going the Phillies' way last night too. You just got the feeling that they were going to pull that one out. And Stairs is down looking on strikes. Now that's a pitch that he probably thought was a little low, and tonight it looked like it was low for Gary Darling, but not that spot. Brett Myers is ready to come into the ball game for the first time since the 27th of May. Your world delivered. And by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines is ready when you are. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. Top of the 8th inning. Phillies lead it 3-1. And Brett Myers will be the new pitcher for the Phils.
Nice reaction for Brett there as you look at the numbers on him. 2 games he's pitched since coming back, or 3 games he's pitched since coming back, all on the road, of course. So first time for the fans to see him here at home after coming off the disabled list.
Yeah, first time since the 27th of May when he started a ball game against the Florida Marlins here at this ballpark, facing Jeff Francoeur. And Francoeur lines one toward right center, and Jason Worth is there. He's hit the ball hard in 2 of his 3 at bats tonight. Or 3 of his 4 at bats tonight, and has 3 hits to show for it. The only time he didn't hit the ball hard was his first time up when he moved a single to left. You wonder if Brett works a quick 8th inning, if Charlie just lets him out there to pitch the 9th. You know, if it's a comfortable one.
You know what? You're right. There's no way to answer that. Well, no way to know. Because there's going to be a lot of flying by the seat of their pants right now to finish up games. Well,
if ever there's been a bullpen or closer by committee, this seems to be that scenario. Although you get the feeling that it's more Ryan Matson now than anybody. Toward the hole at shortstop. Jimmy backhand sets himself, fires to first. In time to get Tatis. That's a big league play right there by Jimmy Rollins.
How about him snapping that throw? That's unbelievable. It looked like he slipped too as he went to throw. And I don't know how he did that.
He liked that play, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, that guy's right. Salute on that one. Because not only does he slips and then he just throws a seam. Watch him slip right here as he goes to throw it. That back foot went and then he just snaps that throw. Wow, that's a good play. He didn't play real well in Washington. He just looked tentative for some reason. And see, Brett Myers liked it.
Well, here's Daniel Murphy pitch hitting for the Mets with 2 outs in the top of the 8th inning. Oh, he's leading it 3-1. Game 1 of 4 here at this ballpark this weekend. And there's a pop-up. Left field line. Pedro and Jimmy. Jimmy makes the call, and a quick inning for Brett Myers. He throws just 6 pitches to get through the top of the 8th inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Mets. We head to the bottom of the 8th and Jimmy. The Phillies are now taking deposits for all 2010 full and partial ticket plans. Log on to Phillies.com or call 215-463-5000 to get some more information. Good folks down in the Phillies ticket office are there to take your questions. Again, the Phillies have gone over officially the 3 million mark with tonight's attendance. Pretty impressive. And next year promises to be equally as exciting. Well, Brian Stokes will take over here in the bottom of the 8th inning. We had a question about who would pitch the 9th for the Phillies. Stokes in his 62nd game, 2-4, 3.84 earned run average. Well, Ryan Matson is up and loosening for the Phillies right now. There's Brad Lidge in the background. I thought maybe since Brett had thrown just 6 pitches, they would stay with him, or there was a chance they would stay with him. Jimmy skies one way up there in right field, one away. But it looks like, at least at this point, that Ryan Matson's going to pitch the 9th inning. It is difficult to be a guy in his shoes. There's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of benefits, like winning a world championship. But just think about this year and the issues he's had to deal with from a player's standpoint. Jimmy struggling, Brad struggling. You know, when to sit Jimmy, what to do to get him going, what to do to get Brad going. You know, when to make the switch to Ryan Matson in a save situation. I mean, we're not talking about extra players. I mean, these are some of the main players and pieces to the Phillies puzzle that Charlie's had to decide, you know, when to give them a break, when to keep them out there, you know, when to shift their responsibilities.
Well, and nobody knows better than a guy like Charlie that's why he's in that chair. Because you have to make decisions. Some of them are tougher than others. But he thinks things through. And his players know that he always has the team in mind.
Victorino lost one down the right field line. That's in for a base hit. And he is speeding to second. And that is his 3rd double of the night. 37 doubles.
Perfect night for him, too, with 2 walks. And he'll get another one here if they want. Here comes Jerry Manuel with that trot of his that he does, and then he always points just before he gets to the foul line, then walks the rest of the way. So he's going to make a switch. He's got a left-hander out there ready to come in. Feliciano.
So no pitcher for the Mets here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Phillies lead it 3-1. Brian Stokes' evening is over with. And a new left-hander in the ball game for Jerry Manuel and the Mets when we return. Since the last time we saw Pedro Feliciano, his numbers are a little worse. I mean, he was under 200, the batting average against left-handers, when the Phillies saw the Mets up at Citi Field. You see where it is now? It's at 231.
He had real good command of his slider, Tom, the last time we saw him, and that was such a positive, I guess, for him to get left-handed hitters out.
Well, he's on the face Chase with the runner in scoring position and 1 away. And that one's inside. Chase has already been hit by a pitch once tonight.
And Victorino wants to be alert out there in case a ball were to get away from Santos, because David Wright is way off the line at third. He would have a tough time getting to the bag for any kind of a throw down there to get him. See how far off he has to play Chase Utley in this pull defense they use.
Chase in the air down the right field line, carrying toward the corner. Francoeur overran it, and it's off the base of the wall. Victorino's going to score. Utley goes to second. It's an insurance run for the Phillies, and it's 4-1 Philadelphia.
Yeah, the wind got that thing and really fooled Francoeur. He ran to a spot, and when he looked up, it wasn't there. See, he's taking a look up at the flags, looking at the board to see on the replay what happened. Big night for Shane with the 3 doubles and the 2 walks.
93 runs scored now for Victorino.
See, that ball goes way up, and now look at the wind bringing it back. And look where Francoeur was. He just totally misread where that thing was going to come down.
Once he overran it, I wondered if it was going to go out of the yard.
Yeah, it looked like it had a chance. A lot of wind blowing right now from right towards left. Hard to believe those flags can move as wet as they are.
Yeah, there's been a lot of rain overnight throughout the day here in Philadelphia. It's a wonder they were able to play this ball game.
Yeah, they really wanted to get this game in. They did a tremendous job getting it started, playing through the rain. A good job by the ground crew as always.
Handcuffed Ryan Howard. To the count to Ryan. Saw those numbers on Ryan. He has gone down on strikes 11 times against Pedro Feliciano. Make it 12. So Ryan's down on strikes, 2 away here in the 8th inning. And another left-hander for Pedro Feliciano. Phillies trying to win this one, take game 1 of this series. Have a good weekend against the Mets.
And Florida had a little rally going down there. They had 1st and 3rd, nobody out, 1st and 3rd, 1 out, and now the inning just ended.
How about Jim Riggleman brought in Mike McDougal in the bottom of the 8th inning?
We must have gotten a double play on that inning. And you know what? You're allowed a scoreboard watch now. It's that time of the year, especially since the Phillies haven't been playing very well. And there's Sean Green up, side arming right-hander, and the Marlins have been playing well. Phillies, you look at that 5-game lead, it's still 6 in the loss column. You know, they could, win-lose tonight. You're 7 in the loss column, and every day that you do that to the team behind you, you get a little closer to having a happy ending.
Two balls, 1 strike the count to Raul. Off the hands. And Valdez makes the call. The inning is over. But that 1 run the Phillies scored on the RBI double by Chase Utley is huge as we go to the 9th inning. Charlie Manuel talked to the media about Mattson and about Brad Lidge.
Well, I tell you something. When I tell you something, like I say, he's my closer. I don't tell lies. I don't, and you're like I don't like to go back on nothing. But you know, the team and the game is bigger than my heart, and it's bigger than anything else. If you want to know the truth, and you know, like in that winning a game and what it's all about, and that's baseball and why I manage. That's what comes first.
I have to say that Charlie Manuel has said a lot of things since he took over the Phillies that have been very entertaining, very moving too, like last year's speech at the end of the season. But what he said about Brad Lidge when he brought Ryan Mattson into that game the other night could be one of the best things I've heard anybody say in this game, and unbelievably honest too.
Well, that's the way he is.
Omir Santos leads it off here in the top of the ninth.
You know, one of the great things about this game, and we all love it so much, is that everybody has their opinion. Everybody thinks they know what move a manager should make, what move he shouldn't make. And, you know, there's still some people that think Charlie Manuel isn't a very good manager, and you hear from him once in a while. But unless you're around him and know what he does with his team, it's tough to say that.
Well, that's going to be a base hit down the left field line for Santos, a leadoff double here in the ninth inning. So he's aboard to start this off. Phillies lead it by 3.
And he has confidence now, and he hopes that Mattson can move into this role and close some games out, because this is the most important part of the game, when you get to hear whether you can get it done or not. Now, you don't guard the line now because you have a 3-run lead. So Feliz is well off the line, and down it goes for a double. He's like, oh man.
He's thinking, can we get a clean ninth inning?
Right. Can't somebody just go out there and just get it over with?
Jeremy Reed is going to pinch hit for the Mets here in the ninth inning. And Reed lines one to right field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Santos will hold up at third. So back-to-back hits now for the Mets, and that means the tying run will come to the plate.
Yeah, and as you said, you know, maybe you thought about using Brad Myers for 2 innings, and that would be one of those things where you say, well, why don't you use Myers for 2 innings? Well, because he thought Mattson was the right guy to close the game out. And right now, it's not working out real well.
Well, Rich Doobie's going to head out to the mound and try to settle things down. Phillies lead it 4-1. They have 4 runs on 12 hits, but the tying run is coming to the plate. It's Corey Sullivan who's going to bat for the second time. Sullivan singled in his first plate appearance. He came on as part of a double switch. What are they talking about here, Wheels? Outs?
Outs. Well, in the scouting report, you know, again on Sullivan, just to talk about it, but probably to say, look, we're going to play the infield all the way back in double play depth. We'll give up a run here. Just how do we want to pitch Sullivan? And the other thing is, when that's happened so fast, how many pitches he's thrown? 3?
3 pitches.
We want to go out there and slow everything up a little bit, too.
Hey, coming up Sunday at noon, Fred Beeks presents the Charlie Manuel television show. We'll catch up with Skipper about his pitching staff. We'll talk about Brad Lidge. That's Sunday at noon on MyPHL 17. First pitch to Sullivan, taken low, 1-0. Sullivan has good numbers against Ryan Mattson. 4 for 11 against Ryan with a home run. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. There are very few closers in baseball that, you know, are lights out to the point where they don't allow anything. I mean, Mariano Rivera is leading the American League in saves this year, but he's nowhere near the way he used to be. He was a guy that every time he came in, you expected he'd come in and throw a 1-2-3 inning. It's just, well, it's not the easiest thing to do. And Mattson now is ahead 1-2 to Sullivan.
No, this job requires a special personnel on the mound. There's no doubt about it. And that's why Lidge was so good at it.
Toward third, Feliz could get 2 to second for 1. Utley to first. Double play. A run does score, but 2 outs are put up on the board here at the top of the ninth inning.
And you tack on 2 runs, too. You tack on a run in the 7th, tack on a run in the 8th, and you could whole different game in the 9th inning then. That was a nice play by Pedro. Left-handed hitter hits that. That thing is really spinning, too. It's going to be wet. It's going to spin. It's going to go away from you. You saw how he had to do that, and Chase did a great job of using the bag for protection and getting a lot on that throw so the runner couldn't get out his feet.
So 2 away, and here's Angel Pagan, 0 for 3. 2 strikeouts, a sac bunt. He's also flied to right. And the first pitch in there for a strike. Toward the right side, Chase to his left. This could be it. It is. And Ryan Metzen does come on and closes out this ball game. He allows a run, but Charlie Manuel makes the move to bring Metzen in to save this ball game, and he does. And the Phillies have taken game 1 of this 4-game series. So the final score tonight: the Phillies 4 and the Mets 2.